if you're a nail that sticks out, you get hammered down. Oftentimes, if you are that nail that sticks out, society or everybody around you, teachers, friends, your friends' parents, whatever, you know, like they try to knock you down because everybody needs to be flat, everybody needs to be the same. I've been moving my entire life. You know, since I was 3 years old, I've been just moving, climbing trees, going around, just jumping on stuff. I'm a professional parkour athlete, coach. I perform, I teach people, and also I'm a movement practitioner and movement teacher. And I teach people how to move better and help them kind of discover themselves. That's what I do. I've been doing parkour for about 15 years. And then movement, that's a difficult term, but I've been practicing with people with the intention of movement practice for about 7 years. I was pretty much the first generation of parkour practitioners in Japan, because everybody in Japan started through this documentary called Jump London. And it was kind of shown in the really famous Japanese TV show. So a lot of us saw that and then just start practicing. And then after that, maybe 2005, everybody gathered together and start training together. But before that, you know, people was just trying to discover parkour, just trial and error all the way. So about movement practice and about fighting monkey practice, to be more precise. One of the biggest turning point was probably my college. So my junior year, there was this course called the Specialist in Strength and Conditioning. And my professor told me, whatever is written in a book, it doesn't happen in real life. Like you memorize the entire thing just to get a certification, but when you actually face a client, you need to actually think what you're doing and be innovative. That was kind of like the point where I start thinking, okay, like I'm really into moving my body, I'm really into nutrition, strength and conditioning, but how can I do better? Like, what does it mean that you need to innovate and be creative and actually look at the client and see what you can do, you know? So that's when I kind of looked up different kind of drills and practices and movement, and that's the first encounter where I noticed about movement. And then after graduating from college, I became a teacher at this school called Ollerup Gymnastic High School, which is kind of like a performance art school. So I was a teacher there for 3 years, and I was also in a professional dance company. I tore my Achilles tendon during my time where I was performing full-time, teaching full-time, and I was pretty much a mess. And it was a very confusing time for me because I thought I did everything perfectly, you know, everything from the textbook, nothing wrong. And it kind of hit me, you know, what the professor told me, like whatever is written in a textbook is not always true. And with a torn Achilles tendon, I took my very first fighting monkey workshop, and that was my introduction to Josef and Linda, who is my teacher now. Whenever I can, I travel to wherever workshop Josef and Linda is doing, learning from them, and I'm learning from them online as well. A lot of people in Japan put things in a small box, because in a box, it's a system, it's easy to organize, and Japanese people as a culture is very organized people. That's how we are. But you know, through my life, and I start to understand it even more now, that if you put things in a small box, if you train inside of a box and you put a label on something, you will never grow. You will never grow as a human. Your soul will never grow. Your heart will never grow. Maybe your body is gonna be all built up and everything, but you know, what's the use for that? You know, everybody can have a muscle, right? Like Joseph always says this, you know, you can have a muscle, but what's that muscle for? So I think Japanese people can be more flexible in their mind, their heart, maybe their body too. So that's what I want to kind of spread through Fighting Monkey practice. Back then, for 15 years, like I had nobody who taught me parkour, zero. You know, like nobody really taught me the right way of doing things. So everything was trial and error. I told you about my Achilles tendon. I tore it completely. So it took me like 1 year to actually get back on my feet. I tore my meniscus on my right knee. So I had a surgery there too. I've broken both my wrists. And then I tore my ligament on my AC joint, which is kind of like my clavicular and, you know, scapula. Dislocated that maybe 1.5 years ago. Cuts and bruises all the time, but that's just part of life, right? You get bruised, you fall a lot, you just get back and just keep training. There's this word called nanakorobi hachioki, which is basically like a Japanese saying that says like, yeah, you fall 7 times, whatever, just get up 8 times and keep moving forward. That's just my life. So there's this philosopher called Alan Watts. There's a speech called what would you do if money was no object? If you pursue money and do what you hate, what's the point of life? It's a vicious cycle. I lived by that philosophy since I heard that, since I was high school, all my training years and over, like all my years in college, even now with Odell. I always try to do what I love, like what I will be doing if money was no object, because this is who I am, this is what I love, so I'll keep doing who my heart tells me to be. Try to move, discover, because you have one body, right? Your body's kind of like a car. It's a car that holds your soul. But if your car becomes rusty and old, always take care of your vehicle. You know, this is your vehicle that your spirit, is gonna live forever. So just move, explore, expand, see what life offers you. Oftentimes, you'll be surprised what you'll find out about the world and about your own self. My name is Masa Suzuki, and I'm born to move.